So today, we extract resources, we manufacture goods, we sell those goods, we use those goods, and we throw them away. And they end up in the landfill. That's not sustainable. What we need to do is move to a circular economy where we manufacture using either reclaimed resources or extracted once. We manufacture things, we use them, and when they reach the end of their useful life, we can take them apart because we've redesigned them. We take them apart and we recycle the parts that can be reused, and we compost the parts that can't be used. That means we have to redesign things because, for example, today you can't even recycle a paper coffee cup because it's got a plastic liner. And when things are mixed together, they don't recycle, they don't compost, you can't do anything with them. So we need to redesign the whole economy so that it moves in a way that we can continue to live abundantly into the future. And the linear economy isn't abundant. This Saturday, our theme is putting the brakes on fast fashion, because the fashion industry is notorious for toxins and waste and using child labor and all of that kind of thing and making a lot of pollution. So we're here to highlight the idea that textiles and fashion can be sustainable. We're giving away some items from Bluefish, which is sustainably made. They don't use any toxins or bad dyes or anything like that. The whole idea is to keep fashion and clothing and textiles out of the landfill. We have people who are showing how to make clothes and repair clothes, and we have sustainably made clothes, and we have people showing how to recycle clothes at thrift stores. And that's all part of the whole idea of keeping textiles out of the landfills. That's our story.
Today, our group of students have reimagined what fashion can look like using all recycled, reused, or repurposed materials, the most sustainable approach to creating new fashion trends.
This is some examples of work by local artist Judy Bales. She's a fashion artist, or creates art fashion, you might say. Each one of these pieces was created by using recycled or repurposed materials. And although these particular pieces here are very ornamental, she also puts together full-on designs that can be wear, fashion art designs that can be worn. And this is just an example of what these would look like if they were to be worn by a model themselves. But again, this is another example of zero waste when it comes to fashion and the reusing of materials.
The point of today's exhibit, which is a repair fair, is to encourage people to fix things instead of throwing them away and getting new things. We're trying to save the landfills and change the whole mentality of the consumer culture that we have. So a couple of the things that we have today, we have a person from A to Z Appliances here who's counseling people on how to repair their big appliances if they need repair. We have someone here who's repairing jewelry. Don't throw it away, fix it and use it some more. And we have a gentleman here from the MIU Makerspace who's fixing things on the spot that people have brought in and advising us on how other things can be fixed. The whole idea is old tools, old appliances, old household goods can be fixed and reused and enjoyed for a long time. They don't need to be tossed away and replaced. We do want to get away from the whole idea of planned obsolescence, which had its place and its time, but that time is past. We're here at the Sierra Club booth at our Zero Waste event at the Farmers Market, and we're at the MIU Makerspace booth, which we're sharing. David Ford here is a fix-it par excellence kind of guy.
So, hello, I'm David Ford. I run the wood and the metal shop at the Fairfield Makerspace, which is on the MIU campus. And today we're out here with the Sierra Club doing a repair fair, and we've been looking at appliances that might just need a simple fix versus getting thrown in the landfills. So today we're looking at right now we're looking at a juicer. It's a masticating juicer, and we're trying to troubleshoot it to see if it's worth repairing. One of the things I'm looking at, the owner of this said that it doesn't turn on. I verified that by plugging it in, turning it on, and of course making sure we were absolutely safe while I was testing it. I've got it unplugged now from the power source, and I'm looking at simple things. I'm looking at wiring. The first thing I'm looking at is the switch to make sure the switch works the way it's supposed to. So I'm using a simple multimeter. You can get one for as inexpensive as $2. Different stores. This one actually cost me about $10. I've had it for a number of years. And I'm going to ohm it out. So I'm looking at the switch to make sure that it opens the way it's supposed to, and then when I flip it the other way, it closes to conduct current. And we're just going to kind of troubleshoot and work from there.
Well, David, my name's Randy.
Hi, Randy.
I've heard about you through Mark. Your reputation precedes you.
Oh, well, thank you.
If you can fix this, I mean, maybe it's mechanical. I can't figure it out. I've tried and tried.
All right, so what we've got is a really nice Makita drill. It's a few years old. This was probably a $50 to $75 drill originally. I mean, it's still going to cost you $35 to $40 if you were going to replace it. Let's test it real quick and we'll see what's going on with it. So I'm going to plug it in. Oh,
Ah,
I'm not sure my outlet has power. So we might be looking at a different problem. With this could be a switch problem. Sometimes these will have an internal fuse that breaks. Sometimes it could be the wiring. If it's wound too tight, a lot of people have a tendency of wrapping the cords up like this, and they end up breaking the conductors on the inside. You've got a chuck here that's locked or frozen up, and these are usually got some bearings on the inside, and a lot of times those bearings lock up. The grease wears out, or the bearing itself will actually come off of the track and lock it up.
So then it's toast?
Not necessarily. If we knew it was working, we were able to plug it in and make sure the drill itself is working. This, you could either take it off and you can try and repair it yourself. It's probably about a 20-minute repair, 20 to 30-minute repair.
if you do it. If I do it, it's good.
Well, I got just a little more experience.
Yeah.
And that's really what kind of what we're doing here, and what we do at the Makerspace is give people the experience and the confidence to take these apart at home and look at them. But I mean, it's probably, like I said, a 20-minute repair. Cleaning it up, putting some new oil in there, possibly packing the bearings with some new grease. Or if it's frozen entirely, there's a set screw here that you can't see, but at the very bottom there's a set screw. This comes right out. This is probably a $5 to $10 part to replace.
Sounds optimistic.
Yep. So you replace a $5 to $10 part here, and you've got a $35, $40 drill that's as good as new and will last you another 5-7 years.
I like it.
Hi, I'm Sam James. I'm here with the Sierra Club to just be a resource for knowledge about earthworms. There's a lot of different kinds of earthworms. We have the composting earthworms also that you could look at here, but the rest of the earthworm world, there's over 5,000 species of earthworms, and they don't all do the same thing. So that's why I'm here, just to let if people have questions, they want to ask about earthworms in their garden, or what kind of earthworms they should get, or what are all these earthworms doing. That's why I'm here. So basically there's 3 major ecological categories of earthworms. Those that live deep, or that they live their whole lives in the soil and live there, mate there, eat there, do everything there. Then there's those that live very close to or at the surface in organic materials. And that's where we get the composting worms. That type just likes to live in organic matter, rich accumulations of it. Then there's another general category where they live in a deep hole, maybe 3 feet or more deep. They come out at night, they gather up some food from the surface, and then they go back down in their hole. The most common one like this that we have in Iowa is the night crawler. It's actually from Europe, but it's okay, it's here now. And it's quite effective. It can eat all of the leaves that fall from the trees every fall, if there's a large number of them in the area. So 3 basic kinds. The ones that are of most practical use to us in gardens are the endogeic, and for composting, the epigeic, the ones that live in organic matter. And then these other big guys, most people see them after heavy rains only. They're really fast going down their holes, and they are the basis of a large fish bait industry in the United States and Canada.
Home worm culturing is really easy. All you need is a bin and some holes and some dirt and a shady place. Their name are grass and dirt. And they love fruit and vegetables, and they they love to be in the shade and in the dirt, and they love to eat fruits and vegetables, anything you want to give them almost.
I built this compost bin this morning. I got one like this at home. In fact, I got 2 of them. And they're very easy to build. They're basically made with pallets. You can get them usually behind supply stores. This one, I cut the tops off to make them just a little bit smaller, make them the size that I wanted. And I put a couple screws in to hold them together. You can also put stakes in there to kind of anchor the corners if you want. And like I say, I like to have 2 of them. And the way I compost is I put a layer of high carbon stuff like leaves or wood chips, and then I put down the kitchen scraps or other kind of green material or even manure, and then you cover that up again with the brown stuff. So you basically make in a lasagna, layer and layer and layer. And when it gets maybe about this high, I basically get in there with a pitchfork and I turn it over and I put it into the other one. And I'm lucky because I do tree work and I have access to this stuff right here, which is arborist mulch, branches that are ground up. And I use that and I layer it on top of the green stuff and the garden clippings. Like we've got a bunch of corn that we just harvested, and we got the corn stalks and everything. We kind of break that up and then we cover it with this stuff. And I swear it only takes a month or 5-6 weeks, and it's compost. It's good. You know, it could go longer, but it's good. And I saw something on YouTube, and they turn it. The more you turn it, like they show an 18-day method. You turn it every 3 days, it becomes, viable compost in 18 days. They say. I haven't done it quite to that degree. I usually don't turn it for a month or so. But so my compost only takes 1-2 months.